Hey, adrenaline junkies. Welcome to Mind Rush. Get ready to dive into heart-pounding chases, jaw-dropping action, and the most thrilling moments caught on camera. Let's get your heart racing.
349. Got a seatbelt off. Get in!
On April 2nd, 2025, Oklahoma City police were alerted to a vehicle fleeing from Del City, already drawing attention for refusing to stop. As officers began coordinating across jurisdictions, the situation quickly escalated from a routine locate attempt into an active pursuit.
Great car. We're going to be northbound on Sunny Lane approaching I-40.
Incident to
Failure
sign.
to yield right now.
Your call has been updated.
Watch out, dude. Clear up.
Box over, we able to confirm the female in the driver's seat.
I believe so. We're going to be getting westbound from Sunny Lane. We are getting on I-40, attempted TVI, just on the on-ramp, westbound I-40.
The fleeing vehicle continued west, pulling officers deeper into Oklahoma City. With traffic ahead and limited room to maneuver, units moved into position, preparing for a controlled resolution as the suspect showed no intention of stopping on his own.
Coming to the outside lane, traffic's coming to moderate. Speeds are approximately 80 miles an hour.
742 is clear, managing both violent fleeing felons.
Yeah, clear on that. Coming to the outside lane, approaching I-35 northbound. I'll let you know what to do. Air 1. Can we get Air 1 up by chance? Approaching the middle lane, trying to 70 miles an hour. Looks like we're going to try to go northbound on 10. Northbound on 10.
Magazine, you find the medium or on the shoulder.
TVI, TVI, TVI. Come back in. Let me out.
That moment came at an intersection. Officers executed a tactical vehicle intervention, bringing the fleeing car to a stop near Pennsylvania and Reno. A search of the vehicle confirmed those concerns. A firearm was located inside. The driver was identified as 34-year-old Dashcam Jefferson, who was already wanted on a felony warrant out of Jackson County, Oklahoma. A second suspect was also taken into custody without further incident. Both were transported to the Oklahoma County Detention Center, while Texas Rangers continued investigating Jefferson's alleged ties to a shooting in Texas. Charges: felony possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, endangering others while eluding police, flight to avoid arrest, Texas. A tossed magazine, a hidden gun, and a run that ended exactly where it was always headed, in custody. On August 7, 2025, in McCracken County, Kentucky, a Kentucky State Police trooper spotted a red Chevrolet Corvette flying down Interstate 69 near Draffinville. Radar showed the car at 105 miles per hour, fast enough to stand out even on the highway. The trooper pulled in behind it and activated the lights. Instead of slowing down, the driver did the opposite and made a simple speeding stop a much bigger problem. The Corvette surged ahead, pushing deeper into triple-digit speeds as it carved through traffic. It blew past other vehicles using the shoulder, ignored safe gaps, and kept forcing its way forward as the chase rolled onto I-24. Each mile added more risk, with the driver treating the interstate like an open lane reserved just for him. Whatever his plan was, it relied heavily on speed and very little on common sense.
through yard. He went through someone's yard here. We're back out. Drove through the yard. We're back on.
Yeah, 40 dead as the speed reduces to 310.
Turn in onto Custis. Turn it on to Custis. There is no outlet here.
You're 3 stations, thank you.
We are going through a field now. Going through a field now.
Maybe in supposed to be 10-3, supposed to be 10-3.
Put your hands out now! Put your hands out! Get out of the car now! Get out! It's on fire! Get out of the car! I got taser. I got lethal. Get out! Get out now!
Lay down!
Get out of the car! Get out!
Get out, lay down! Get out, lay down! Get out, lay down!
Okay, get out on your face! Get on your face now!
The run ended after the Corvette exited at Husbands Road and turned onto a dead-end stretch. With nowhere left to go, the car left the roadway and crashed into a wooded area off Bloom Avenue. The vehicle suffered front-end damage but remained intact as troopers moved in and took the driver into custody. 29-year-old Otis McKinney was arrested without further incident. No injuries were reported to officers, the driver, his passenger, or anyone else. Charges: fleeing and evading police, reckless driving, wanton endangerment, criminal mischief. 105-mile-per-hour sprint ended in the woods and in handcuffs. When a suspect is already wanted for drug trafficking, a traffic stop isn't a discussion, it's a test. And on a crowded Florida interstate, that test usually ends fast. On March 8, 2025, Florida Highway Patrol troopers were alerted to a known and wanted drug trafficking suspect traveling along Interstate 275 near St. Petersburg. Troopers attempted to initiate a traffic stop, but the driver refused to comply and fled, immediately turning the encounter into a pursuit.
Hit!
Oh, man! Let me see your hands! Y'all got the traffic! Here! Hands up the phone!
A trooper moved in and executed a brutal pit, sending the vehicle out of control and disabling it on the roadway. As troopers approached the stopped vehicle, the situation escalated again. The suspect reached toward a loaded 10mm Smith & Wesson handgun. One trooper reacted instantly, kicking the suspect to prevent him from gaining control of the weapon. The suspect was restrained, disarmed, and taken into custody without further escalation. Charges: fleeing and eluding, multiple drug trafficking offenses, weapons-related charges, additional charges pending further investigation. A wanted suspect, a disabled car, and a loaded gun, stopped just before it turned deadly. On Saturday, May 18, 2024, around 6 p.m., in Fort Worth, Texas, surveillance footage captured the moments before a shooting on the 4800 block of Miller Avenue. The suspect, later identified as Devarea Thompson, pulled up to a nearby business and stepped out of his vehicle. A handgun was clearly visible on his side as he walked toward an alley behind the building. After a brief interaction with someone just out of frame, Thompson drew the weapon and fired, striking the victim in the shoulder before retreating to his vehicle and fleeing the scene. The victim was later seen emerging from the alley with an apparent gunshot wound to his arm and was treated at a local hospital. By the following day, Thompson was still at large, and patrol units were alerted when the system flagged his vehicle. On Sunday, May 19th, an East Division officer located the suspect vehicle and moved in to make contact. At first, it appeared the situation might end without incident.
Hey, MC Ed! Hey!
Your incident has been updated.
As the officer began exiting his patrol vehicle, the suspect stepped out and immediately opened fire. Multiple rounds were fired toward the officer, who returned fire from his position. The suspect then got back into his vehicle and fled the scene.
We'll be going westbound on Berry, south on Hatcher. South on Hatcher. South on Hatcher still. Stand by. Coming up to South Edgewood from Wyman. Westbound on Eastland. Westbound Eastland. The subject is armed. Subject is armed. Shots were fired. I need units to get to me. My unit has been hit.
With his patrol vehicle disabled, the officer was forced to stop as other units took over, and Thompson disappeared from the area. The officer was transported to a local hospital, where doctors later confirmed his injuries were caused by flying glass during the exchange of gunfire, not a gunshot wound. Using information tied to the suspect vehicle, officers tracked Thompson to a residence in Arlington. A perimeter was established, and Thompson was observed running from the house toward a shed in the backyard. SWAT responded and took Thompson into custody without further incident. Officers later learned Thompson had suffered a gunshot wound to his lower back and was transported to a hospital for treatment. Charges: felony fleeing, reckless driving, attempted capital murder of a police officer, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. One stupid decision ruined his life. The consequences did the rest. August 8, 2025, in Key Largo, Florida, a Florida Highway Patrol trooper spotted a black Toyota Camry moving well above the limit on US 1 near the 95-mile marker. The trooper lit it up, expecting a routine stop. The driver slowed just enough to sell the idea, then changed his mind.
Any additional units in the area, guys?
151 from the 94.
Red light at Burton, red light at Burton. We're going for a pit when available.
That's what we'll attempt to fit. One quick. Thank you. Box them in?
Yeah, go ahead and if you can, get in that inside lane, just slow down. Alright, we're gonna have a box in here. Alright, he's on. Alright, we are unsuccessful pit from 1684. We're still southbound. I'm going in for another one and see if this traffic's clear.
10-4, unsuccessful pit from 1684.
They are 48, and we're on the limit.
The Camry surged ahead, climbing into triple-digit speeds as it sliced through traffic. It used shoulders and turn lanes to pass, ignored red lights, and even drifted into oncoming lanes like rules were optional. The run continued through an active construction zone and across the Snake Creek Bridge, with the driver forcing past traffic wherever space appeared. Whatever plan the driver had, it wasn't improving at 118 miles per hour.
I got some traffic up here. Not slowing down. 130 miles per hour.
Step 130 miles per hour.
He's cutting in on the shoulder. Alright, we are still south on Miami. Alright, when available, I'm going to go for a pay. We just got heavy traffic on it.
Step 1.
Good pay.
Yeah, for a pit at the 85.
Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands! Hands! Show me your
Give me 4.
Show me your hands! Get on the ground! Get on the ground right now!
Give me 4.
On the ground, sir.
With lanes cleared near the 85-mile marker, a trooper moved in and executed a pit maneuver, spinning the Camry to a stop. The driver, later identified as Glenn Saltz Jr., refused commands and stepped toward the trooper before being taken into custody. Inside the car, open and unopened beer cans told the rest of the story, and Saltz showed clear signs of impairment. He suffered minor abrasions that were treated on scene, then continued to escalate, attempting to run into traffic and spitting on a trooper. After medical evaluation, he was transported for involuntary psychiatric evaluation. Charges: fleeing and eluding, DUI, reckless driving, speeding. A speeding stop turned into a full keys-length chase with alcohol, bad decisions, and zero exit strategy. He outran traffic for a while, but not the consequences. On Wednesday, January 7, 2026, just after 4 p.m., an Arkansas state trooper spotted a black Toyota Camry drifting along East Main Street in Blytheville. When the trooper attempted a traffic stop, the driver slowed, hesitated, then suddenly took off.
Stop. 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 No. Stop. John Road 1037. We're on Ash Street. North on Ash. Speed 70. Give him the tag. Yeah, it's gonna be boy out of that paint on Paul. Street, Ruddle, back on Ruddle. Back on Ruddle South. Crossing the tracks. Crossing the tracks right now, speed about 80. Passing oncoming traffic. Southbound speed 100. Just passed 239. You ready? Tell them we sideswiping or north on Ruddle.
The Camry cut through city streets, looping through residential roads and accelerating hard. The suspect braked hard at one point, briefly disrupting the pursuit, but immediately turned around and continued running. Troopers stayed locked in as the chase tore back onto open roadway, with the Camry still refusing to slow down.
Crossing the tracks. Crossing the tracks. TBI. Roll over, roll over, roll over.
That run ended at an intersection. A trooper closed the distance and delivered a clean tactical vehicle intervention, sending the Camry into a ditch and disabling it. The driver eventually complied, exited the vehicle, and was taken into custody without injury. The suspect was identified as Rennie Sims. Troopers noted signs of drug and alcohol impairment. A search of the vehicle turned up marijuana and an open container. During booking, additional drugs were located, later testing positive for fentanyl. Charges: felony fleeing by vehicle DW. A refusal to submit to chemical test possession of controlled substances, including fentanyl. Trafficking fentanyl open container. No driver's license, no insurance. A city street run, triple-digit speed, and drugs in the mix, all ending in a ditch instead of an escape. On September 11, 2025, in western Arkansas, law enforcement units were already in pursuit of a Jeep Wrangler linked to a counterfeit money investigation. The chase began in Oklahoma, with Sequoyah County deputies and Roland police pushing eastbound toward the state line. As the vehicle crossed into Arkansas, state troopers moved into position to take over. From the start, this wasn't shaping up as a routine stop.
Got the motor, we going for TBI. Motor TBI, circle. Full time out. Pass quarterly. Careful, that's the circle. Pass quarterly.
The Jeep stayed buried on the accelerator, tearing down the interstate like it had nothing left to lose. Troopers worked to contain it, but the driver kept slipping through gaps that shouldn't have existed. The pursuit spilled onto Interstate 540 southbound, where the road opened just enough to invite a risky move. It looked like the moment to end it, but the Jeep broke free and kept running. After crossing the Arkansas River Bridge, a second piet was executed in a clear stretch of roadway. The Jeep spun, slammed into the concrete barrier, rolled onto its side, slid across lanes, and crashed into the guardrail before coming to rest. Once the vehicle stopped, the danger didn't. The driver was seen moving inside and grabbing at objects, refusing to show both hands after crawling out. When he kept one hand near his waistband, a drive stun was used to gain compliance, and he was taken into custody without further resistance. Charges: felony fleeing by vehicle, reckless driving, resisting arrest, driving on a suspended license, no insurance and expired registration, possession of methamphetamine, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia. One reckless decision turned a counterfeit case into a violent interstate chase. It ended on its side, and in a jail cell.
Alright, he just slowed up, looks like we're making a U-turn, pretty good around. Then U-turn and climb back westbound.
On May 7, 2024, just after 1:15 p.m., in Columbus, Ohio, Whitehall police were alerted to a stolen vehicle tied to a previous aggravated robbery. The alert came through flock cameras as officers began tracking the vehicle. Almost immediately, the suspects showed they weren't planning to cooperate. Early in the encounter, an officer attempted a pit maneuver from the side in an effort to stop the vehicle, signaling that this pursuit was already escalating.
He's just making a U-turn. We're going to go southbound on Georgia, south on Georgia. 631 up on 640.
Thank you.
Get there for 604, get here as well.
604 Channel 3.
Still southbound Georgia, so he's coming up to area of Walmart.
The suspects continued fleeing through multiple areas as Whitehall police requested assistance from Columbus officers. At one point, the suspects abandoned the first stolen vehicle and stole another, escalating the situation even further. Traffic tightened, units converged, and the risk continued to climb. Whatever plan they thought they had depended on chaos and speed.
They got six over by the high school. Right? He's going to be inside of this shopping mall behind the south one, downwest. Like northbound.
Let's blow through here. That's right.
Take me eastbound.
I can't see. Got through all this.
Turn over and head towards Harrisburg Pike here.
I can't see, bro. How did you make it through all this?
631 got
Are they agree on all in this place?
631 climb in Riverbend.
Your chopper is at the entranceway of the football stadium. Your left, Mount Street, or southbound.
Get out.
The pursuit finally ended when an officer executed a pit maneuver, sending the Hyundai off the roadway and into a tree. Once the vehicle stopped, officers moved in and took both suspects into custody. Charges receiving stolen property, fleeing and eluding police criminal damaging. The chase escalated quickly and left little room for recovery. It ended with arrests, damaged cruisers, and a case now moving through juvenile court. On March 11, 2024, in Fayette County, Georgia, deputies located a silver Honda Civic that had been carjacked at gunpoint earlier that morning. Investigator Fisher was the first to spot the vehicle near Highway 85 South and Stonewall Avenue and immediately notified dispatch. With multiple deputies already in the area, officers prepared for a felony stop. Instead of pulling over, the driver chose to run.
Passing Hopeton Terrace. Someone stay at the entrance. He's going to try to come back around. $10.50 at the end of the street. It's going through a yard, coming back out. The 46, move out. back to the entrance. $10.50.
The pursuit ended when the Civic came to a stop and the driver exited with a gun in hand. Surrounded by deputies, he hesitated, then chose surrender over escalation. He was taken into custody without further force. Investigators later confirmed the driver was 14 years old and the stolen vehicle had been taken during an earlier armed carjacking. Charges theft by receiving, fleeing, and eluding possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Possession of a firearm by a minor A gun, a stolen car, and a short chase ended the same way. One reckless decision closed the door early. On February 1, 2025, Atlanta Police Zone 4 officers were alerted that a vehicle connected to an armed robbery in Hapeville was moving through their area. Officers located the car near Dodson Drive and Ben Hill Road and attempted a traffic stop. The vehicle briefly complied. Then the driver changed his mind.
All right, we're southbound, southbound 46.
So you're southbound Fairville.
16 alcohol, 16 alcohol. 15. 16 alcohol, 16 alcohol. 16 alcohol, 16 alcohol. 15. What? Stand by. Over felony, do not rush it. Over felony, do not rush it. Do not rush it. Get on the ground! Get on the ground right now!
An ACE unit officer executed a clean pit maneuver, bringing the vehicle to a stop. One suspect bailed and tried to run, but was quickly tracked down and taken into custody. The second suspect stayed in the vehicle and was arrested without incident. The suspects were identified as 34-year-old Datavius Waller and 34-year-old Juwan McKinnon. Both arrests were handled by the Hapeville Police Department. Charges: armed robbery, felony, fleeing, additional charges pending a robbery run, a failed escape, and 2 suspects who didn't get far. Thanks for riding the adrenaline wave with us here at Mind Rush. If you're hungry for more heart-pounding action and edge-of-your-seat excitement, don't go anywhere, because we're just getting started. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more mind-blowing moments coming your way soon.